Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us as we open the APTA Fight the Cut Virtual Rally. My name is Laura Keeble, and I'm the Grassroots and Political Affairs Specialist for APTA. The purpose of today's rally is to make some noise and encourage Congress to act on the proposed 9% cut to physical therapy services under Medicare. This cut would be devastating to the profession and the patients you serve, and we have to do everything in our power to fight the cut. There are several ways to participate today and raise your voice throughout the day. First, and most importantly, you can send a letter to your members of Congress. After this segment, an action alert is going to all APTA members to take action through our Legislative Action Center, our members-only center. It will take just a few minutes to send your letter, and you are able to add your personal story if you wish. If you already sent a letter in our previous advocacy campaign on the 9% cut, that's okay. This is a new alert for the APTA Fight the Cut virtual rally, and it amplifies the urgency of fighting this cut. We also have the letter up on our Patient Action Center, which is public, and we encourage you to share the link with everyone you know. Again, it only takes a few minutes and it makes a huge impact. Our goal is to flood Capitol Hill with 50,000 letters today. And I'm pleased to announce that so far, as of this morning, over 3,000 letters have already been sent. Are you up for the challenge to get us to 50,000? I think we can do it. You can also spread the word on social media by using the hashtag #FightTheCut. Tag your legislators and tell them how the 9% cut would impact you, your patients, and your practice. We also encourage you to tag friends and challenge them to participate in sending letters of their own. You can also use our custom Facebook frame and spread the word to your friends on Facebook. And again, I can't stress enough, ask your fellow colleagues, friends, family, students, parents, neighbors, everyone you know to participate and send a letter to Congress. This proposed cut would be far-reaching and every voice counts. Let's keep the momentum going on this because members of Congress are taking notice on this issue and we need to flood the Hill again. And we have to keep the momentum going before Congress goes into recess at the end of September and as we continue into the election year. I'm now going to turn it over to APTA President Sharon Dunn, and she will offer her remarks. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sharon.
Thank you, Laura. On behalf of APTA Board of Directors, I want to thank you for participating in the APTA Fight the Cut rally kickoff event this morning. I know that some of you on the West Coast are tuning in very early and that all of you are taking time from your jobs and families to be here with us. Please know that we are grateful to you for making this extra effort. I'm also grateful for the technology that makes this rally possible, although it's a bittersweet kind of gratitude. I'm sure that many of you, like me, long for our face-to-face, in-person exchanges that always make our time together rewarding. Even though these virtual events have become more rule than the exception, I still wish we could all be together, gathering energy from each other and lifting our voices as one on behalf of our patients and our profession. But this isn't the time to complain about what we're not able to do because there's so much we are able to do. We're still able to lift our voices. We're still able to fight on behalf of those who need our care. And we're still able to remind lawmakers in no uncertain terms that the physical therapy profession doesn't back away from a challenge. Never has, never will. Back in June, which seems like such a long time ago, I delivered the President's address for our first ever virtual House of Delegates. As some of you may recall, I quoted APTA's first president, Mary McMillan, from remarks she gave in a 1946 lecture. Actually, I was quoting Mary McMillan as she in turn quoted a poem by Douglas Mallock called Good Timber. Good Timber is a poem about resilience. It talks about how good timber only grows strong through being tested by winds and storms. Those ideas were timely for the profession nearly a quarter century ago, and they're timely again today as we face these challenges of the COVID pandemic, tough and much needed conversations about race and justice, and now a threat to our ability to provide crucial care to patients across our country. Maybe the theme of resilience has always been timely for our profession. We're about survivorship. We've certainly had to endure plenty throughout our history. But in terms of what we're about to do today, that poem falls short in one important way. While it makes the case that strength and resilience are born out of weathering storms, it doesn't touch on an important truth. Sometimes strength and resilience must be demonstrated. Sometimes it's not enough just to weather the storm. Sometimes you have to make use of that strength and resilience. Sometimes we have to fight. The 9% cut proposed by CMS is a hurricane bearing down on our shores. It's a direct threat to our profession and an abandonment of some of the central principles of value-based care. This cut will do real harm to people who expect and deserve access to effective and cost-efficient care, and people who provide that care, all because of a budgeting tactic that would be easily lifted by Congress if only they will consider the impact and act. These cuts would be damaging enough during any other year, but coming in the midst of a global pandemic that has strained nearly every facet of healthcare, they're reckless. Throughout the current public health emergency, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants have found themselves in a position not necessarily shared by other health professions. Some of us were thrust to the front lines of care, treating those affected by COVID-19. But at the same time, others saw visits decreased as non-essential surgeries were delayed and people stayed inside their homes except for only the most urgent care needs. Throughout the pandemic, we were always listed as essential professionals, but our profession has known both front lines and furlough this year. No matter our experience, we put our patients first, as we always have, right back to our beginnings in World War I and through the polio epidemic and another world war. And now we need to fight for our patients again and for our profession to get the respect it deserves. We do that through advocacy. When we speak together, drawing from that well of resilience, decision makers listen. When we don't use our voice, decision makers hear that as well. We've already made a strong case to lawmakers and CMS, both through APTA's advocacy efforts and the efforts of members and stakeholders who took the time to contact Congress. Now we need to make that case not just strong, but overwhelming. We need to show policymakers that an entire profession is speaking with one voice, one determined, passionate voice on behalf of our patients who are also their constituents and voters. We can do this because that's what we're all about. Over the past 100 years, we've built a profession from good timber, one that isn't afraid of challenges, but that welcome a challenge. We face it head on, and we've weathered the battles that sometimes ensued. So here we are again, facing another challenge, leaning into another storm. So please, in less time than it took for you to listen to me this morning, I need you to help us fight these proposed cuts. Help us reach our goal of 50,000 letters to Congress. Every voice counts, and we need yours now. So once again, thank you for your participation today. We're looking forward to a really great effort. And now, once we have been successful today, hopefully Congress will hear our voice and heed this warning. Thank you for participating, and I'll turn things back over to Laura.
Thank you so much, Sharon. We really appreciate your leadership, and thank you so much for being here with us today to kick off the APTA Fight the Cut Virtual Rally. Let's do it. So are you ready to rally?
Ready.
Hopefully I'm hearing cheering from all of our wonderful social media followers. Let's get to 50,000 letters and let Capitol Hill know we mean business. We cannot afford to be silent in this moment in history. Your voice matters, and let's rise to the challenge. Again, it takes 2 minutes to send a letter of your own, and please encourage everyone you know to send a letter as well. Our rally live stream continues throughout the day at different points. Join us for our midday rally Our update begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Mike Matlack, our Director of Congressional Affairs, and our Texas Federal Affairs Liaison, Linda John, who will have some really great conversation on the 9% cut and how you can get involved. And please join us at 6 p.m. Eastern Time with Justin Elliott, our APTA Vice President of Government Affairs, and our Nebraska Federal Affairs Liaison, Brent Todd, who will close out the day and give some closing remarks. So let's do it. Let's go forth and fight the cut.